The Big Issue.
Of your favorite current affairs program on television, The Big Issue. My name is Xenophobic, and of course I have an in-house analyst in the studio with me, Innocent Odo. Innocent,
thank you
to have you in the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, on The Big Issue today we are looking at the African Cup of Nations. Nigerians in South Africa risk xenophobic attacks over Super Eagles Bafana Bafana clash. That's the big issue today. Of course, let me fill you in case you're just joining in. Nigerians living in South Africa have been warned of possible threats of xenophobic attacks ahead of today, Wednesday's top flight semi-final clash between Nigeria's Super Eagles and Bafana Bafana of South Africa in the ongoing African Cup of Nations AFCON tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. The Nigerian High Commission in South Africa raised the alarm on Monday in a statement and warned Nigerians about impending attacks, apparently because the Eagles were favoured to win the big match. It therefore warned the Nigerian community to be watchful of their utterances, be mindful of where they choose to watch the match, especially in public places, and refrain from engaging in loud, riotous, or provocative celebrations should the Super Eagles win the match. So on Big Issue today, we are asking whether South Africans should dictate the mood for Nigerians living their country should the match go in Nigeria's favor. And of course, I have somebody who is just, in the know, a stakeholder, so to speak, to do justice to that. Innocent, it's good to have you on the program again.
Thank
you.
Of
course, you were among those that carried the press release from the Foreign Affairs Minister warning of threats to Nigerians living in South Africa should the match today being played today go in Nigeria's favor. What do you have to say about that? Because the question that is on everybody's mind is, so will South Africans dictate the mood for celebration should the case the match go in Nigeria's favor? Should they be the one to dictate the mood for Nigerians living in their country?
Well, in an ideal situation, they are not supposed to dictate the mood for Nigerians in terms of ecstasy that comes with victory. If the Super Eagles emerges victorious, which we hope that they will today. They are not supposed to do that. But we live in a kind of an abnormal situation when issues like this erupt. Even the issue of xenophobic attacks is an abnormal situation. It's not something that we expect from a country as an African country like South Africa. Of course, when you look at these xenophobic attacks from when it started in the mid 2000s up to 2019, it's been very sickening in all dimensions, very disturbing in all dimensions. These are not the things that Africans were expecting from South Africa, especially from Nigeria.
Given the role Nigeria played.
Exactly, given the role Nigeria played, the investment Nigeria made in energy, in resources, in human capacity to make sure that we dismantle the obnoxious apartheid policy and apartheid regime in South Africa. So it is really heartbreaking to hear this type of utterances coming from the social media, and that is why it begins. Now, I like the approach of the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria by taking this measure to caution Nigerians that, look, we understand the situation here because of the utterances of some bigots really on the social media. And so if you don't tame those kind of people, there's tendency that they're going to trigger crisis, because it's just a sickening situation. People who do this type of thing are just, I don't want to use some kind of words to qualify this madness in South Africa. You remember in 2008, 62 people were killed in xenophobic attacks. You understand? It repeated itself again in 2015, coming to even to 2012, exactly. Then 2015. Then Nigerians also started getting 19, which also in fact triggered, that of 2019 triggered some reactions from Nigerians
and who broke diplomatic ties.
Exactly.
Now, let me just take you back a little, Innocent. Do you think because of the incessant xenophobic attacks South Africans are having or nurturing against Nigerians, do you think the president of the country is doing enough to curtail it? Because one would have expected that, of course, Nigeria police would rein in those Nigerians, if it were Nigeria, causing those kind of mayhem. But did you see that going on in South Africa?
What they told us at the beginning
if they
was
had done
that
that, it ought to have served as a deterrent.
they have to. They would have to unleash deterrent measures. But we have not seen much of that, I'm afraid. We have not seen much of that from the authorities in South Africa. And that is quite disturbing. Up to this moment, they are still investigating. I remember also interviewing the former acting High Commissioner of South Africa to Nigeria, Mr. Bobby Monroe. I mean, over this issue. That was in 2019. And he promised that these issues of attacks, the xenophobic attacks, are not backed by the South African government. Yes, we know that. There's no evidence. But the thing is that there is no evidence, or there are no concrete action that you have taken to ensure that you stop this thing permanently. Because if it started in the mid 2000s, then up to 2008, 2012, 2015, 2019. I remember even in 2022, Nigerian High Commission had to, in fact, issue another alert to Nigerians living in that country.
Warning
warning exactly, to tell them, look, you have to be very cautious of where you go to in this country because of the uncontrollable crowd. They call it Operation Dudula or something. The people who felt that the African brothers that have come to live in their midst are taking away their jobs and threatening their livelihood and so on and so forth, and all those kind of things that do not really make sense at all. So whatever that is driving this attack, the South African government should go to the root of the matter. We understand that, yes, the young people in the country are frustrated, especially in places like Soweto and the Mpumalanga region of the country. Frustrated young people in South Africa want to, vent their anger on people they've perceived, as those who have come to take away their jobs, and then of course they also perceive as those who have come to do drugs and crime in their country. But this is not how to handle the situation. And I believe sincerely that even in this particular one that is now generating this crisis, the case of football, for God's sake, we are enjoying an exciting moment in Africa, which is the most prestigious tournament in the African continent, the African Nations Cup. And of course, we are now going to clash in just about 1 hour now with the Bafana Bafana of South Africa. It was supposed to be, yes, this is a game, but it's supposed to be a friendly affair with Africans. We are brothers. It is just a competition that somebody today must emerge victorious.
Yes.
Whoever emerges victorious, let there be fair play, and we'll all enjoy the game. So this issue of people going on social media and issuing threats that we're going to attack Nigerians and do that against our people is unacceptable, and we cannot condone that anymore. Sorry.
Thank you.
And I believe that the Nigerian government took a proactive measure by ensuring that they give Nigerians what they call early warning signal, so that they will be able to, curtail themselves. It's not as if we're afraid of South Africa that we don't know what to do. After all, in 2019, when they tried this type of thing against us, you saw what happened to their businesses reprisal attacks against MTN and the other some other businesses and the rest of them. But we do not want that to happen, because we are peaceful people. We are, our African brothers, we love them, we accommodate them, and we also give them leverage to do businesses here, because their businesses also help us to grow in our economy.
Now, I want to chip in, Innocent. Since the advisory alert by the Nigerian High Commission in South Africa came out on Monday, what has been the reaction of the South African government to that advisory? Yeah,
well, I understand that the South African, foreign ministry have also issued a statement denouncing denying that something like this, is the offing. But that's by the way. Even if you deny it, go as well as condemning that act, because this action you see from why this elicited reaction from the Nigerian side is that, yes, we have seen a pattern on the social media, and that is where it begins.
Yes,
we have seen a pattern where there's a threat of violence, people threatening Nigerians everywhere they are, whether the Mpumalanga region, in the Soweto and other parts of South Africa, that if the Super Eagles defeat South Africa, I mean, you are going to unleash mayhem, violence, attacks on Nigerian people.
Now, apart from denying it, because you said the South African government's response was to deny that statement emanating from the Nigerian High Commission in South Africa. Apart from denying it, did they tell us that Nigerians, that they were going to put measures in place to cut?
That's why we are really disturbed. Apart from denying it, they should also have assured Nigerians that, look,
that they were safe.
You are safe in our country, and nothing will happen to you irrespective of the outcome of this semi-final clash today between the Super Eagles and the Bafana Bafana of South Africa. So we are just watching, but we, in fact, advise Nigerians, just like the foreign ministry have done, to ask them to be very, take some, make some cautious move, to avoid trouble first, because you need to be alive for you to celebrate. Let them just obey the instructions of the Nigerian government. Be more modest in the way you celebrate, because it is just a moment. We are certainly going to beat Bafana Bafana today. I am very sure of that. So once we have beaten them, of course, the boys will have been separated from the men.
All right, thank you so much. On that note, we are going on a break. When we come back, we are continuing with the big issue for today. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The program is The Big Issue, and of course the big issue today is on the ongoing African Cup of Nations tournament. Nigerians in South Africa risk xenophobic attacks over Super Eagles Bafana Bafana clash, which is coming up later today. My name is Winifred Weber, your host on the program, and of course I have an in-house analyst, Innocent Udo. Innocent, thank you so much once again. Now I want to find out from you, because since the news or the one-year adversary broke, the internet has been agog with the talk on the forthcoming match, which is later today, by the way. So how do you think this one will encourage our boys in Cote d'Ivoire?
Thank you so much for that question. Because what we are hearing from the Nigerian camp in Bouake, that is the city where they are going to play this match today, is that there is an extra motivation to win this game. There's a report that Nigerians are behind them now, because this has triggered nationalism. You know, there's an unprecedented nationalism among Nigerians right now, because anytime you touch Nigerians this way, you trigger nationalist feeling in them. So that spirit is what is being imbued into the Super Eagles this evening. I can assure you, you're going to see that Nigerian fighting spirit coming out from all cylinders and blasting from the first blast of the whistle to the end of the game. I only hope that the Super Eagles will be able to break down this Bafana Bafana within the regulation time and don't stretch this match to extra time or to penalty shootout. That is what I want. So this is an extra motivation for Nigerians, and I can assure you, I understand that the vice president of the country is also on his way to watch the match in Bouake. And you can imagine when the number 2 citizen of the country is seated. That is to give motivation. It is a collective embodiment of the national spirit that is right now in Cote d'Ivoire. The entire Nigeria is already in Cote d'Ivoire. So the spirit of Nigeria, 200 million people, they are already in Cote d'Ivoire. Our spirit is there. The Super Eagles is the embodiment of that spirit. And we must show South Africa today that spirit of Nigeria is going to crush the spirit of xenophobia. It's going to defeat xenophobia in the pit today. I don't have anything against South Africa as a nation. Neither do I have anything against the Bafana Bafana as the national team of South Africa. But we are going to win this match in order to show them that the spirit of patriotism, the spirit of the real Africans will defeat xenophobia. That is why the Super Eagles must win this match. Because you see why we're saying this is that if you look at the commitment made by Nigeria to dismantle apartheid, you see that it's unprecedented. No any other African nation. In fact, at that time, during that historical period, Nigeria was seen as a frontline state. Frontline state means a state that is within the space, within the dominant space, to where the fight against South African apartheid regime was unleashed. And at the end of the day, Nigeria was among the successful alliances that destroyed apartheid. So today, whatever emanated from the former apartheid enclave that is called xenophobia, the spirit of Nigeria today will crush it on the battlefield. Okay. That is what we're going to go
All right, thank you so much. Now, with your bragging rights that Nigeria is going to defeat Bafana Bafana boys of South Africa today, what happens? What are you predicting? What are you predicting will be the outcome from South Africans against Nigerians living in South Africa? Should they make good their threat?
Okay. Well, what would do? I mean, let them not even think about it, trying to attack Nigerians, because we have a reprisal mechanism already in place. So there's already a mechanism for tit for tat. I hope that didn't happen. So South Africa will not taste the other side of Nigeria, even outside the football pitch. So those who are perpetrating these xenophobic attacks should better be advised that it will not be in their interest to start anything that they cannot finish. But that's by the way. On the battlefield today, Nigeria, why they are so upset with the outcome, the clash today, that they do not have good history against the Nigerian Super Eagles. If you look at it from the time we started.
However, Innocent, many would say that there's no underdog as well when it comes to football, that there may be so many late surprises.
Well, exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you that there are no underdogs, especially in this tournament.
Yes.
Every nation has come to showcase its best. The South African team, to be honest with you, they are very, very, good. They are a cohesive side, because most of their players play in the domestic league of South Africa. A lot of them from the Mamelodi Sundowns, then Chippa United and the rest of them. And Zesco United, the other one, Orlando Pirates. I mean, they have very good local club sides. Even our own goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali, also plies his trade in South Africa to tell you how, very organized their league is. But once we measure player by player on analysis, I mean, our guys top them. Our guys are at the top. We cannot measure it player by player. Now tell me, we have the biggest player in Africa now, Victor Osimhen, the African Footballer of the Year. He plays his football in Italy, one of the biggest clubs in Napoli in Italy. So, I mean, there's nobody in South African team that can match this particular guy from Nigeria, Victor Osimhen. So, going by player rating, I think we are far ahead of South Africa. But like you said, football is not mathematics. You cannot put 1 on 2 and get one plus 1 and get 2. It may always change to something different. But like a Nigerian, I would want the Super Eagles to win. But I know that it's going to be it's going to be a tight game, and maybe just a slim 1-goal advantage might just give it to the Super Eagles.
All right. And lastly, there are talks of, proposals that should South Africans in South Africa make good their threats, that FIFA should ask them and weigh the big stick. Do you share in that talk?
Yes, I do. In fact, I share in every measure that will be taken to ensure that we stop these xenophobic attacks, be it from the diplomatic front or from the sports side. We must do everything to, like I said, the way we dismantled apartheid, that is the way we have to crush xenophobia or xenophobic attacks, as some people may put it, in South Africa. We cannot look at sports is a very beautiful game. We cannot taint sports by violence. It doesn't make sense. It does not bring out the essence of the spirit of the game.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So we do not have to use violence to taint sports. It doesn't make sense at all.
But even with the threats, because there has been diplomatic rules over the years that you listed out, first in 2012. We also had, first in 2008, in 2012, and even in 2019, as recent as that. And yet, the government of the day in South Africa has not been able to curb it. Do you think without government backing, they'll be able to eliminate, if not curb, xenophobic attacks on other Africans in South Africa?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said before that we have seen so much of talk from the South African government. We haven't seen much of the action being carried out.
Yes.
As I'm talking to you now,
So
I'm not sure.
How do you force their hand?
We have to force their hand because of in fact, the last time that they tried to attack Nigerians, especially in 2019, you saw the Nigerian reaction.
Yes.
In fact, we had to we recalled our ambassador, our high commissioner from Pretoria. We also had to cut diplomatic relations with them. Even the VP didn't attend this World Economic Forum in South Africa to tell you how serious Nigerians took the matter. And the South Africans saw the message and they said, oh, this big brother is not happy with us. Therefore, we must do everything to assuage.
However, many people are also lackadaisical about it, with the view that if there's a rift of Nigerians stand to lose more, considering the number of Nigerians that actually living in South Africa compared to the number of South Africans that are living in Nigeria. How true is this?
Well, it might not necessarily be the way they are trying to put it. I understand the perspective some people want to put, because of course, wherever you go to, not only in South Africa, within Africa, all over the world, you see larger Nigerians in those places because of our number. You understand that? But when you talk about investment, for instance, South Africa has very substantial investments in the country. And so if they begin to do something against our people in their country, and it triggers retaliatory attacks here, I mean, you can imagine the amount of money, the amount of investment that will be wasted here. Our people were able to even curtail what happened in 2019. Our police did a very great job trying to stop the angry youth from doing more damage to the South African business. This time, it may not be the same. Because, of course, you know that in Nigeria now, there's also anger in the country. You know, as a result of some development in the country. I don't want to go into that, but I can assure you there's so much anger that anybody can exploit to unleash violence on the South African interests.
Well, you know, I keep saying last question, but I can't help asking this. What is the way forward?
The way forward is to use sports to create peace. I am a sportsman, and I love sports it's to my heart, and I want to put that something that is there to my heart. I want to put it as a form of, in fact, you can actually use sports to promote diplomacy. Now that we are a friendly country, look, South Africa, you are brothers. Come on, it's a game. It's not a war. You know, we're African, brother. We called us to come and play in the tournament because we want to bring Africa together. It's a Nations Cup. It's a unity cup. It's united. Sports unites people. It doesn't divide them. So let us use this Nations Cup to unite Africa. Sports can actually be that fulcrum, that hub of unity, that hub of peace. And of course, it might trigger development, because once you are united as a continent, as a people, you can then have sound mind and sound strategy to plot development. So sports can actually help us build capacity in every dimension possible to help the continent to even grow further.
All right, thank you so much. Well, viewers, we've heard it all from Innocent Odo, an in-house analyst on the ongoing issue. Of course, we will be talking on AFCON, the ongoing African Football Confederation of Nigeria. It's arm twisting, which is ongoing, and Nigerians in South Africa risk xenophobic attacks over Super Eagles Bafana Bafana clash. That has been the big issue on today's Wednesday program. My name is Winifred, but don't forget, same time next week is another appointment to be with you. Join us then. See you. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.